What's going on, Colts Nation, and welcome back to another episode of Bring the Juice. Well, guys, Indianapolis Colts lost a heartbreaker yesterday to the LA Rams. Right at the end there, the LA Rams scored to go ahead. Indianapolis not able to hang on, which was a big bummer, especially considering the Indianapolis Colts were ahead with a couple minutes left to go and then just could not do what they needed to do to pull out a victory. So the Colts fall to 3-1 on the season. And today I want to talk about some studs and some duds here from this game. Like I said, guys, a game the Colts very much should have won. They were in it the entire time and unfortunately choked it away there at the end. So we're going to talk about that. But before we do that, guys, just want to say this episode is sponsored by FanDuel. Guys, be sure to head over to FanDuel today to look at all the different odds here. If you're betting tonight on Monday Night Football, be sure to go check out FanDuel, guys. They got everything you need, whether you're betting on stuff for the Indianapolis Colts or whether you are betting on other things when it comes to the regular season or if you're betting on Monday Night Football. You know, we're looking tonight at a couple of these games. Right now, the spread Miami is the favorite by 2.5 points. And then when you go to the later game, the Denver Broncos are the favorites by 7.5 points. So that's kind of the spread there, guys. If you're wanting to make those bets, be sure to go check out all that on FanDuel. But again, guys, shout out to FanDuel for sponsoring this video. All right, let's jump right into this, guys. And we're going to start with the duds because when you lose the game like that, you got to start with the duds here. You always have to do that. So I'm going to start by probably talking about one of the more frustrating things in that first half for the Indianapolis Colts. And to me, it was something where I just felt like the game plan from Shane Steichen offensively wasn't as good as it's been, especially in that first half for the Indianapolis Colts. It really was puzzling that the Colts didn't run the football more. And it was pass. The Colts were out of sync, and it was just a disaster. And in that second half, to his credit, Shane Steichen did get back to running the football, and the Colts had success. Jonathan Taylor did a lot of good things in that second half, but definitely was not a fan of that first half play calling wise from Shane Steichen at times. Really felt like it got way too one-dimensional, and I would have liked to see him get JT more involved there in that first half. But it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it certainly was a dud. And, you know, your offense really got out of sync for the first time this entire year. So definitely want to talk about that. The play calling at times from Shane Steichen, especially in that first half, definitely was one to forget for him. And got to talk about the most obvious player here on the offense. Adonai Mitchell, I don't think he deserves to see much more snaps this year, to be honest with you. I mean, I know there is the thing of, hey, he's a second-year player. He's got talent. But Adonai Mitchell straight up cost you 14 points yesterday. I mean, he had that fumble there as he was going in for the touchdown. So you go from, scoring 7 there to giving the ball back to the Rams. And then later on in that fourth quarter, Adonai Mitchell gets a penalty on a 50-plus yard touchdown run from Jonathan Taylor, negates another 7 points. And it was just a day to forget for Adonai Mitchell, and the type of game where I don't know for Adonai Mitchell, man, how much more you can trust him, because you gave him opportunities and he kept making mistakes that were critical in this game and straight up spotted the Rams 14 points. So for me, guys, I kind of sit here and say I don't think the Colts need to cut him by any means, but I certainly think the thing they do need to cut is his playing time. I personally would prefer to see, at this point, Ashton Dulin as wide receiver 4 over him right now. And I think it really emphasized, again, the importance of re-signing Alec Pierce, bringing him back, because Adonai Mitchell proved in the opportunity he was given, he does not deserve to see the field right now. And hopefully it's a learning experience. Hopefully he can bounce back from it. I mean, any player for the Colts, you want them to be able to find themselves and thrive. But, man, it's tough after a game like yesterday where he did those kind of boneheaded things and really, really cost your offense. And like I said, negated a passing touchdown for Daniel Jones and also negated a 50-plus yard run for Jonathan Taylor that would have put him over 100 yards and would have given the Colts the lead back in that game. When you're down there, it's 2020. That would have given you the lead there. And even if what happened and, it was a blown coverage, you're going to OT there. Or you at least at the minimum, you have an opportunity to go and kick a field goal to win. You don't have to go down there and score 6. So, yeah, for me, guys, Adonai Mitchell, just inexcusable stuff from him. And I just don't know what else the Colts can do at this point other than play some other guys over him. It sucks because, I like Adonai Mitchell. I think he's certainly talented, but just was a head case yesterday and really, really cost your offense in some key pivotal moments. So Adonai Mitchell's the first player here on that list. The second player, and personally a player I wouldn't mind seeing cut, Xavier Howard, just awful, horrendous. I mean, Puka Nacua had 180 receiving yards. Xavier Howard looked disinterested, disengaged, and frankly didn't look like he cared. And to me, that is the worst thing to look for in a corner, especially a corner of his age. I just don't see a situation where you can give him any more snaps in this defense because he was a complete liability all day long. He cost this team multiple times in critical moments. He cost the team big plays. I mean, Puka Nacua could do whatever he wanted against Xavier Howard, and Howard offered little to no resistance the entire game. So I don't want a bum like that on my football team. Get him off at this point. I'd rather play Mekhi Blackman. I'd rather play Jonathan Edwards, the undrafted free agent. Anybody but Xavier Howard at this point. Xavier Howard, certified bum. Get him off my football team. Look, I cannot stand a player like Xavier Howard that looks disinterested, doesn't even try, it looks like, and just straight up is cooked. So, yep, take him off my team. I don't want him. I don't want him seeing any more snaps with this team. He needs to be benched ASAP. There's no reason, Lou Anarumo, for you to play Xavier Howard anymore. And if you do, frankly, you're an idiot. But anyway, that kind of leads me to the last stud I have here. I really felt like the game plan was kind of poor from Lou Anarumo overall, especially with knowing Puka Nacua is the player they are going to go to routinely and continuing to put Xavier Howard on him, especially in that 4th and 2 where you need a stop. The Rams are at the goal line. You know where they're going to go. They've already thrown it to him like 12 times. Nope. Xavier Howard allows an easy walk-in touchdown for Puka Nacua on a slant. It's just like, I don't understand. Put Mooney Ward on him at that point. You know where they're going to go to. I just felt like Lou Anarumo was just not having a good day. And just really, I felt like cost the Colts in some critical moments due to some poor personnel decisions there. So just was not a fan at all of that game plan on the defensive side of things. You knew where the Rams were going offensively. You knew it was going to run through Puka Nacua, yet you routinely put your by far worst corner on your team out there on him. Makes no sense to me. Will never make any sense to me. So, yeah, I just felt like the game plan was definitely not up to standard at all for Lou Anarumo, especially knowing what the Rams were doing, and it felt like you didn't adjust in terms of who you put on Puka Nacua. And I wish you would have done that very much so, especially in the critical moments there. So, yeah, that does it for the duds, though, guys. And unfortunately, those duds were big enough that it cost you this game. But there are some studs. I do want to highlight some studs in this game. Like I said, Jonathan Taylor, even without that 50-plus yard touchdown run, he still was averaging 4.5 yards per carry. He ended up with 76 rushing yards in this game and 20 receiving yards. So right around that 100 all-scrimmage mark, and he would have had easily over 150 if that touchdown would have counted if A.D. Mitchell didn't hold there. So JT was a stud. We know the type of player JT is. It just sucks that it didn't show up in the stat line because of that critical holding penalty there by Mitchell. But, yeah, Jonathan Taylor continues to be an absolute certified stud. So just want to continue to talk about him and rave about him. He's an absolute beast when it comes to rushing the football. He's the best back in football. I don't think there's any debate at this point. And it sucks that it doesn't show up in the stat line there, but it is what it is, man. But all in all, Jonathan Taylor definitely was a certified stud on Sunday. Another player who's a certified stud as well, Tyler Warren, had a really, really good game. Kind of got a tic-tac call there at the end of an offensive pass interference. And, of course, they didn't call it on Puka Nacua because refs hate the Colts for some reason. But still, Tyler Warren was a stud. He had 5 catches, 70 yards. He also had his first touchdown, although it was on the ground. He was a fullback and got the football and scored there. So good to see Tyler Warren get his first NFL touchdown, and really felt like he was a mismatch all day long there. Like I said, a bummer that they called that OPI because that was another 10-yard gain. But whatever. Tyler Warren, though, he continues to be the real deal and definitely wanted to shout him out. He is an absolute certified stud here. No doubt about that. And then when you're looking at a few other players that I thought were studs on the defensive side of the ball, I felt like Leatu Latu had a very, very good performance here. His breakout performance, his first sack of the season, ended up with 9 pressures, a sack, 2 quarterback hits, and 6 hurries. So he had a couple career highs in a couple categories there, which is definitely positive trending for him. And hopefully he can build off of this against a Raiders offensive line that's going to be missing one of their best offensive linemen in Colton Miller when the Colts face them on Sunday. So Leatu Latu, he's starting to live up to that draft billing when you took him as the first defensive player back in 2024. So hopefully that is a good sign of things to come. I did feel like Adetomiwa Adebaware also had some nice moments as well. I just want to kind of mention him as well with the pass rush. Pass rush was a lot better in this game than, frankly, I expected. I thought they did a pretty good job all day long on harassing Matthew Stafford. So Latu was the main guy there, but Adetomiwa also had some really nice moments there. I want to shout him out too. And then I want to talk about Mooney Ward as well, because even though I felt like, and Lou Anarumo should have put him on Puka Nacua, he did a pretty darn good job, I felt like, on Devontae Adams outside of a touchdown he allowed. I mean, Devontae Adams really didn't do a whole lot, and Mooney Ward had a couple nice pass breakups there and continues to be right now the only healthy, competent corner on your roster. So that is kind of, I should say outside corner, because I felt like Mike Hilton was pretty solid too. So, yeah, that really does it, though, guys, for my studs and duds here for week 4. Unfortunate result here to the end of that game, but there was a lot of positives to take from this game, and Colts will have another opportunity here on Sunday back at home against an AFC opponent, the LA Raiders, against an AFC opponent, the Vegas Raiders. So will Indianapolis be able to take care of business? We will have to see. But guys, that'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Again, shout out to FanDuel for sponsoring this episode. Again, that'll do it for this one, though, guys. Thanks so much. And as always, go Colts.